Hi, my name is Elijah Kerner, and over this past summer, I secured and completed a 120-hour paid internship at M&T Bank. From August 13th to September 4th, you could find me at the M&T branch located by the intersection on Transit and French Road. Luckily for me, my internship was very close to me. This was extremely helpful because it allowed me to walk to my internship every day in the morning, walk to and from home for my lunch breaks, and walk back home one last time after I clocked out for the day. Once I finished the trainings, I spent time observing the interactions at the customer service desk. After spending a substantial amount of time observing these interactions, I was allowed to try handling a few myself. I was a little nervous at first because I'd never done something like this before, and I will admit I was a little bit slow during my first transactions that I took care of. But after I began to handle more transactions, like cashing official checks, I really got in the swing of things and was able to go much faster. Drive-through. I mainly just kept everything running smoothly by taking containers from the drive-through tubes to and from the tellers. I also talked through the intercom while working at the drive-through. This was beneficial because I was able to gain experience working with customers as I talked to them through the microphones. This was mainly just to greet them and see exactly what they wanted done by the tellers. If I wasn't working the drive-thru or at the customer service desk, you could find me checking the coin and cash logs, making copies, logging the overnight deposits in the morning, counting money from the ATM, assisting in closing the bank for the night, and many other tasks that I was responsible for. While I was completing my 120 hours at M&T Bank, I met AOF alum Tyler Bonafide. He stayed around for 1 week while I was working. Meeting him, along with his coworker, was very inspirational and motivating because the two of them were both college graduates, so they were around 22 or 23 years old and already had jobs at a corporate office. In fact, they were there that week to survey the bank and collect data on it. While interacting with them, I was able to see the positive effects that a NAFCHEC certification can make on an individual's life. Participating in this internship was truly a unique experience. Thanks to the generosity of branch manager Lisa DeJohn and the rest of the M&T Transit and French staff, I was able to experience the new and exciting things that I did through the 120 hours I spent working there. While I'm at M&T, many of the workers and some of the customers that I helped serve couldn't believe that I was in high school. They were all impressed by my manners, professionalism, and dress. They always complimented me on my outfits. All of these skills that I developed were all a part of what I learned from the curriculum of the Academy of Finance here at Lancaster High School, thanks to teachers like Mr. Dixon. My internship ended up being the perfect internship experience for me. Being at M&T Bank made me realize that I really enjoy banking, and it is something that I'm thinking of pursuing in the future. Thanks to the generosity of Mr. John and the rest of the M&T Transit and French staff, I now have an experience that I'll never forget. My name is Elijah Kerner, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my digital story.
Hi, my name is Liana, and over the summer I completed my internship at the Lancaster Area Chamber of Commerce. It's located in the village of Lancaster, right down the road from Bloomsbury Toy Lane. It was a small little place with no windows and only a few rooms, and often we could hear the loud music coming from the gym below and the kids performing in the room next door. John Shamarny was the boss of this nonprofit organization. And Kim Burkhart was his only employee. I went to her every day for my next task. She had me do lots of things like copying paper, filing paper, calling businesses, keeping up with our members, starting all their social media, and most importantly, planning events. The first event I was a part of was Depew Founders Day. It was a 2-day event that we arrived at early, set up a tent, and sold food all day long. I was the cashier, and it was important for us to make money, so I had to keep it safe. One day, Haley and I got to go down to the city of Buffalo to pick up flyers for the upcoming tournament. After, they got us Chipotle. With the golf tournament coming up, Haley and I had to go through this whole room and look for items to put into the new auctions that we would use for the tournament. We then contacted most of our members and asked for donations and baskets for the tournament. I learned so much at the chamber. I got to network, expand my horizons, and realize what I was capable of. My favorite part about the chamber was planning events. The Annual Golf Classic at Fox Valley was a lot of hard work. Beforehand, we had to contact all of our members, asking if they wanted to be in the tournament, figuring out how they pay, and making sure they were on the list for the big day. The golf tournament was a great opportunity for Haley and I to meet people that will help us with our futures. There was always a new task at the chamber, and even though a lot of paperwork was put into it, the events were the best part. I'm so thankful for the opportunity I was given at the chamber, and that I got to work with not only my friend, but new people that I met. Thank you, Mr. Dixon and Mr. Schmarney, for this opportunity of a lifetime. Thanks for watching.
For my internship, I was the advisory board intern. To students, I was the student advisory board president. The advisory board is a group of volunteers in the working world who supply us with internships, job shadows, mock interviews, they speak in classes, and help with other work-based learning opportunities for the academy students. The student advisory officers and I have workshops a couple times every month to prepare for our upcoming projects and for advisory board meetings. My job as the intern was to make the agendas for the workshops and advisory board meetings, make calls to advisory board members, run the Russell Certificates fundraiser, plan and organize Job Shadow Day, post on the LinkedIn page, and run student meetings and workshops. The most nerve-wracking parts of my internship was speaking at board meetings and making sure that I always knew what I was talking about. I spoke about upcoming projects that we needed volunteers for, topics we were covering in class, and I worked with them to come up with the best way to complete tasks for projects. Mr. Dixon and I had to come up with ideas to recruit new members by coming to our meeting. It was a huge success, and we ended up recruiting 22 new members onto the advisory board. My internship has taught me a lot about myself too. It showed me how much work I was truly able to handle, which was a lot. Although it was a lot of work, in the end I gained so many new skills, like time management from attending and planning meetings or on my other activities, speaking skills from speaking in front of large groups of business professionals, communication skills by keeping my student team updated and making sure that they were prepared for meetings and projects, and by asking Mr. Dixon many questions to make sure I was always doing my job right. I also had to talk with members in and out of meetings and actually start using my email for something, which I am now an expert at drafting emails. But the most important, now more confident in leading other people, and I have learned what is needed to be a good leader. Mr. Dixon has become a role model for me to look up to. Before my internship, I didn't know what it took to be a leader, and now I do, and I know that I have what it takes to be a good one because of Mr. Dixon's help throughout the school year. I am proud of my work during my internship because of all the events and meetings I had to plan for ran smoothly, and it was a very successful year for the advisory board because of the student work put into it and the amazing people we work with that I got to meet. Overall, my internship was a great learning opportunity to learn about myself and how to be a good leader. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, for this wonderful opportunity.
My name is Jameson Ahrens, and I completed my internship this past summer at Alliance Advisory Group with Gregory Ahrens, who is my uncle. Employees at Alliance Advisory Group work with clients to create financial strategies for topics such as wealth building, risk management, and retirement planning. Before I completed my internship, I completed one of my 3 job shadows with him. Right away, I knew I wanted this to be my internship, as the field of financial planning intrigued me. I did and learned many things during my internship. I of course did some common intern tasks such as making copies, picking up food, and even creating a binder to help everyone. But other than these tasks, I truly did do and learn a lot about the financial advising or planning career. My uncle taught me a lot about his job, in which I consistently tried to take notes. He taught me about portfolios, stocks, bonds, retirement planning, and even let me sit in on a few of his calls. Along with this, I got to witness him starting to create his own brand with his partner, and I was even given a book to read. I also attended a seminar or presentation about BlackRock, which is an American global investment management corporation that is the world's largest asset manager. One of the more fun activities I did with the employees was have a cookout to help donate to charity. During this cookout, I got to meet and talk with many of the other employees who worked there. But the main task I was assigned to do was work with one of the newer employees, Grace, who my uncle was helping getting her into the career. The major project we had to complete was to put all of his client information into an Excel worksheet for easier accessibility. This was a very long process, as he has hundreds of clients and close to 1,000 policies such as insurance or investments with all of his clients. It wasn't always smooth sailing, as my Excel skills were a little rusty, but by the time I was finishing up my internship, we had completed our assignment. Overall, this internship was definitely successful in getting me exposed to the career of financial planning. This has not only helped me with my future career readiness, but it has also helped me with thinking about my college major. I could definitely see myself going into a similar career path, and this is all thanks to Alliance Advisory and my uncle.